Day class because it's Earth Day on Friday, I think it is. And it's a good thing we're not doing an outdoor Earth Day class in a snowstorm. Yeah, I guess you guys kind of have to see it out the window. So anyway, we're going to work with some mudras, and mudras are just hand. One of the mudras we're going to work with is called Ganesh mudra, which is like this. Another mudra, and I'll talk you through them. And another mudra, what's that? Another mudra is prana mudra, so it's just your peace fingers, but you keep your fingers together, so that's prana mudra. And then the other one is prayer mudra or Anjali mudra, which is your hands together like this. So I think those are the three main mudras we're going to work with. There might be another one that I've forgotten about, but anyway, we're going to start seated. And if this is comfortable for you, and I don't know if it is, and you want to sit on a block, I'm going to turn my blocks this way. You might have one or two blocks or no blocks. And bring your toes together and your knees wide. What's that? Or toes-ish together in that general direction. They don't have to be completely together. Yeah, me too, just because I can't with my ankle. And then we're going to come into Ganesh mudra. So your right hand mudra, your right palm faces you with thumb up, and left hand thumb down, and you just grasp the fingers. So elbows are up, and you're kind of pulling in opposite directions. And Ganesh is the remover of obstacles. That's the elephant in yoga. And then close your eyes, and you don't have to pull really hard, but just have your hands right at heart center. Let your eyes close, and we're just going to take a few moments for some reflection and dedication with our breath before we start our class. And so just start to connect with your breath here, with your belly breath, bringing your awareness to the flow of the breath in and out of the body. And in honor of Earth Day, we're just going to take some time through our class to reflect and dedicate our relationship with Earth as this generative friendship between living beings, and this feeling awareness that we want to cultivate together today. And we can shift our perspective of Earth from being an object to Earth being a living thing by thinking of it as Mother Earth and shifting from it to her. And take a few more breaths here like this with your Ganesh mudra. And feel your roots connect to the center of the earth as you grow through your spine. And relax and feel your breath slowing down. And begin to connect with your Ujjayi breath here. Creating that restriction at the back of your throat to slow the breath down. I'm going to take one more full inhale and exhale here. And then we'll slowly let your eyes open, release your grip, and we're going to come into child's pose. So you can make a big circle. And as you come into child's pose, you can bring your palms together in prayer mudra or Anjali mudra. Let your forehead come down to your mat and kiss the earth with your forehead. And just take a few breaths here to awaken that earth element within you as you connect to the earth through your body, relaxing your frontal brain as it touches the earth, and shift from the thinking mind to the receptive mind, allowing that natural connection to arise from this living earth. And then we're going to begin to flow between these two poses. So on your next inhale breath, you'll begin to draw weight back into your seat and rise up. Bring your arms wide and then come back into Ganesh mudra. And stay here for a full round of breath, and then we'll flow like water, releasing. Circle your arms wide and come back down into wide-legged child's pose. And then just keep this rhythm going, inhaling, coming up, coming back into Ganesh Mudra, and then releasing, coming down into Child's Pose. And we'll flow like that 2 more times, rising up, Ganesh, and then releasing, coming into Child's Pose. And last time, circling wide, come back into Ganesh, lifting your heart, and then circle wide, come back into Child's Pose, bring the forehead down. On your next inhale, we're going to rise up and come into tabletop. And you might want to get rid of your blocks, just move them off to the side as you come up and come into tabletop. And we're just going to do a few rounds of cat-cow just to get the spine moving, and then we're going to flow between cobra and child's pose as well. So as you inhale, draw the heart forward, let the belly move towards earth and the tail rise to sky. And as you exhale, belly draws in, press the earth away, and let the head drop to earth. And just moving with your breath. Oscillating between these two, your toes can be curled under or straight, whichever works better for your body. One more cow pose as we inhale, drawing the heart forward. And then as we exhale, coming back into child's pose without your blocks. And then staying low to the earth, we're going to slither and slide and come forward onto our bellies. Extend your feet long, hands under your shoulders, rise up like a wave into cobra. And exhale, release down. We're going to think of that water element as you rise up 3 more times. Inhaling, let yourself rise like a wave, and exhale, uncoil, come back down. You can bring your hands wide if you wish. Inhale. And exhale, release the wave. Last one. Inhale. And exhale. Hands under your shoulders. Press up and back, child's pose. The inhale, we come back onto the belly for cobra. We're going to do this 3 times. This time just a regular cobra. Exhale, press back, child's pose. Inhale, slither forward to cobra pose. And exhale, back to child's pose. This time as we inhale, we rise up onto our hands and knees. We're going to make our way back into downward facing dog. So Susan, figure out how that's going to work for you. It might be one-legged dog for you. So go ahead and find your downward facing dog. Take some time to really feel into all 10 fingers, into the heel of your hand, into the feet, and how you connect to the earth here. And how having that connection to that solid surface beneath you allows you to rise up and lift up and away from the earth. Take one more breath here. And then we're simply going to walk, step, or hop your feet to the top of your mat into your forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway, lengthen through your spine. Exhale, bow down. And then we circle wide as we press the earth away from us. Rise up and draw into your heart center. And release. Take a moment to connect again to the earth through your feet in mountain pose. So spreading your toes wide and pressing down into your feet. And just check if your feet are parallel. And actually, let's bend the knees and really feel that connection to earth here. And by that connection that we have, that solid surface that allows us to rise up and be tall. And then from here, we're going to move into tree pose. So let's start by balancing on your left foot, a bend in your right knee, and then externally rotate, and then you find where your foot's going to go. It could be your ankle, your shin, or your thigh. And you can have hands on your hips. You can have hands at your heart center, or you might begin to grow your tree as you root down through your foot, and you can imagine your roots growing down, tendrils of roots growing down into the earth, holding you steady. And then from here, our tree pose, we're moving into eagle. I saw a bald eagle at the corner on my way here today, which was rather serendipitous. You're going to release that right leg. It's going to come over your left, and you're going to sit down. Your right arm is going to come under your left. So you can grab shoulders, you can wrap around or press the back of your hands together, whichever works for you. If you have it in you, you can wrap that foot around your calf. I need the extra stability of having my toes to help me a little bit. So take an inhale, lift your heart a little bit, feel that opening in the back of your shoulders, and as we exhale, we're going to fold into ourselves and become small. And maybe your belly comes all the way to your thighs. Take one more breath and use your next inhale to rise back up to your upright eagle. And then we're going to release. Spread your wings wide. Take a nice big stretch and release your arms down. So let's spread right toes wide and root down into the earth through that right foot, and imagine those roots traveling down into the cool, damp earth that's not frozen. And then your left foot is going to, your left knee is going to turn out to the side. Lift up through that right hip, and then find where your foot's going to go for this side. Your hands can be at heart center. They can be on hips, or you might grow your tree again as you root to the earth. Find your breath. And if you want, you can even come into prana mudra, that peace sign with your fingers together, and extend like your peace fingers are arrows piercing into the sky energy up above. Take one more breath before we move from our tree into eagle. And you can release that left leg over your right and left arm under the right this time. Find your Garudasana mudra with your hands, whatever that might look like for your body today. Take an inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, begin to make yourself smaller, coming into a compact little package as belly comes towards your thighs. Take one more breath here. And then we slowly use the next inhale breath to rise back up. And spread your eagle wings wide. And release back into your mountain pose. Take a couple breaths in your mountain pose, and then we're going to flow a little bit. Does the down dog work okay with your? Yeah, okay, good, awesome. Let's inhale, reach to the sky, and exhale, sit down in chair pose. Create the action as though your feet are spreading away from one another in your chair pose to really feel that strength in the legs, that grounding. Take one more inhale as you reach up to sky and press down to earth, and then release, hands down to the earth, sit bones up. Halfway lift, hands to your shins or your blocks, and exhale. Let's step both feet back into your down dog. Take a nice breath here. Inhale, exhale. And then we inhale forward to plank pose. And take a moment really feeling into the hands and whatever part of your feet. Susan, you can bring that sore foot, bring it on top of your other one. Give it a little break. And then we'll exhale to lower down. You can lower through chaturanga or knees, chin, chest. But we're all going to make our way down to the mat. And then feel your belly ground down as you extend through your legs. Maybe you're able to intertwine your fingers above your bum, or press fists into one another if that's not appropriate for your shoulders. And then inhale, roll the shoulders back, roll up into your cobra. Extend through the knuckles, through the toes, and through the crown of the head. Take one more breath here. Exhale, release down. And then we're going to press up and back into down dog. You might stop in child's pose or tabletop along the way. Take a breath or two here. And then we're going to float right leg to the sky, three-legged dog. And as you exhale, step that foot to the outside of your right hand. And you can do that like this too, Susan. Yeah. And then step it back. Left leg floats up to the sky, whichever position you're in, and step to the outside of your left hand. Step it back. Float right leg up. This time, you're going to step it up between your hands. And you're either going to stay up on your back toes, or you pivot that foot down for warrior one. Either option is appropriate depending what's going on in your body. We're going to rise up, intertwine your fingers, press the palms up. Inhale, exhale here. And then we're going to bring our hands, our arms, into the eagle mudra that we just did in our eagle pose. So left arm is going to come under right. Whoops. And whatever variation of mudra your shoulders are allowing. And then as we inhale, we're going to be lifting up as though you're reaching your fingertips behind you, lifting your heart. And as you exhale, come back to being upright. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, ground down through the earth so you can open the heart and lift up to the sky. And exhale, come back upright. Last time, inhale. Invite a little back bend. And exhale. And release your arms. Hands come down. Step back to down dog or tabletop. Let's move into second side. Left leg floats up. Three-legged dog, and as you exhale, step it up between your hands. Either staying up high on your back toes or pivoting the heel down. And then rise up. We'll start with pressing palms up to the sky. And then this time, as we release out of this, we're going to come with right arm under left for our eagle arms on our second side, wrapping around whichever is appropriate for you. And then we'll do that same movement, dynamic movement with breath. As we inhale, looking to the sky, inviting in that spaciousness, and exhale, come back upright. 2 more times. Inhale, and you can keep your eyes looking straight ahead if you're struggling with balance, that will help. And exhale, come upright. Last one. And exhale. And release, unravel the arms. Hands come down. Step back, downward facing dog. Now I'm going to invite you, you can either come down to child's pose and take a couple breaths in child's pose, or you can take a vinyasa and meet us back in down dog. Vinyasa meaning coming forward to plank pose on an inhale. Everybody's taking child's. Let's just stay with child's pose. I'm not going to talk you. I'm not going to talk you through the vinyasa. If everybody wants to take child's pose, it's all good. Let's have 2 more breaths in your child's pose. And as you are in your child's pose, come back to our intention of class of reconnecting with the earth element. So really feeling into those parts of your body that are connecting to that earth plane beneath you. We've got one more breath here. And when you are ready, you find your way back into downward facing dog or tabletop or one-legged dog. Susan is our one-legged dog today. And then we're going to simply step, walk, or float to the top of your mat. Inhale, lift the heart, lengthen. Exhale to bow. Inhale, rise up. And draw into your heart center. Take a moment in your mountain pose. I keep hitting the wall when I reach my arms wide here. We've got lots of room today, so no sense crowding myself. Take a couple breaths in your mountain pose. And then we're going to reconnect to earth through our feet again. Take an inhale, reach up to the sky. As you exhale, sit down in your chair pose. Feel that heat building in the body and that connection to earth as you energetically spread the feet apart. And then we're going to step the right foot to the back of the mat. And then open to the long side of your mat. So both toes are facing the long side of your mat. And let's just come into 5-point star for a moment. Even though we're celebrating Earth Day, we're celebrating basically all of nature, the sky, the stars, the moon, the earth, everything that makes up this planet that we live on. So extend through both feet, really connecting to that earth plane, and at the same time connecting to the sky plane, reaching through your fingers and through the crown of the head. Feel that energy from your center moving out in all 5 directions, all 5 points of your star. And then release your arms down. We're going to come into fiery angel, so turning your toes 45 degrees out. And then as we bend, we want the knees going in the same direction as the toes. So adjust your feet accordingly so they're going in the same direction. And then reach up to the sky. We're going to come into Jaya Mudra. So palms together above your head. Bend the elbows so that the heel of your hand hovers just above the crown of your head, elbows out to the side. So you're connecting to the earth plane, maybe even bringing your seat a little closer to earth. And your fingertips are like an antenna connecting to the sky energy above. Feel that mingling of the two energies at your heart center as we draw earth energy up and sky energy down. And then slowly, keeping the legs in the same position, release your hands out to the side, nice and wide, so that your hands, palms are facing up, hands are at ear and eye level. And lift your heart, lift your gaze, and feel as though you're radiating light out. Take inhale, exhale here. 2 more breaths. Inhale, exhale. 1 more breath. Finding your ujjayi. And then on your next inhale, we straighten, release the arms down. Bring your toes or your feet back to being parallel. We're going to come into our forward fold. So actually, let's all bring our hands to our hips. Take an inhale, lift your heart. As we exhale, let your hands travel down your legs, traveling down all the way to the roots that connect to earth. And as your hands come to their lowest position, walk them out in front of you on your fingertips and stretch long so that your fingertips and your sit bones are going in opposite directions. Getting long. It's like a really wide-legged downward dog, but you're just up onto the tips of your fingers so that you're not actually resting weight, but you're just a little bit of a stretch through the side body here. Release any tension in your neck. 1 more breath here. And then walk your hands back. Bring your hands to your ankles, your shins, wherever is reachable for you. We're going to inhale, come halfway. so that your spine is parallel to the floor. Pause here to exhale. Press into the earth as you rise all the way up, sliding your hands up your legs. Beautiful. Let's turn our left toes to the top of the mat. How am I doing for time? Good. We're going to come into Warrior Two. So just bending that front knee, pressing that thigh down, and extending the right arm out behind, left arm out in front. And find your strong warrior connection to earth, looking over your front fingers. And then let's bring that breath element into our pose by moving into peaceful warrior. And open the lungs, open the ribs. Look to the sky as we ground down and lift up. And then exhale into side angle, elbow to the knee, back arm over. Palm facing the floor, look up to the ceiling. Lengthening through the side body here. One more breath. And we inhale to come up. Turn your toes to the long side of your mat once again. And then turn your right toes to the back of your mat. We're just going to do Warrior Two on our second side. So bend the front knee, press that front thigh down. Extend your left arm out behind you, right arm out in front of you. And again, finding that strong connection to earth through your legs and your strength. Drawing that energy up and extending through your fingertips and your crown. Let's find an opening for our breath in Peaceful Warrior. Flip that right palm to the sky. Inhale, Peaceful Warrior. Look up to the sky. Open those ribs. Take one more breath. And the exhale takes us to side angle. Forearm to the knee. Back arm stretches over and across. Palm facing the floor. And think about making as much space between your left fingertips and the left outer heel. Look up to the sky, roll your ribs up to the sky. Ground down through both feet. On your next inhale, we come up. Turn your toes to the long side of your mat. And let's actually just walk our feet in a little bit. We're going to come into Malasana. So hands can start on your hips. And we're going to bend the knees as though we're coming down into chair pose. And you're going to keep coming all the way down. And you might need to put a block under your bum, if you've got it handy, or 2 blocks. Or if we had more props here, you could put something under your heels too. But so once you're down, your knees are wide, bring your elbows inside your knees, hands together at your heart center. And then lengthen your heart up and lift your gaze. And press your elbows into your knees and press your knees into your elbows so they're opposing one another. And so they're both working in opposite directions. And you'll notice that your root, the end of your spine, your tailbone is moved towards that earth energy, and we keep lifting up through our crown towards the sky energy at the same time. So we've got opposition from right and left with our legs and elbows, and opposition with our tail to earth and crown to sky. Take one more breath here. And then we're going to release our hands to the floor and lift sit bones to the sky into forward fold. You can walk your feet into being parallel again, hip width apart. Knees can be a little bent here. And grab opposite elbows. Let the crown of your head drop towards the earth in your forward fold. And you might bend your knees so much that your belly comes right to your thighs. And just let your head spill, let your body be supported by your thighs. One more breath here. And then release your hands to your mat. You might want your blocks here. We'll see how this goes for everybody. But we're going to step right foot back. We're going to come into, I call it crouching warrior 3. So we're going to keep that left leg bent here. And we're going to float the right leg up and reach through our toes, and then also reach through your fingers. And we're not going to straighten that left leg that we're balancing on. You might keep your hands on blocks or on the floor. Some of you might reach your hands straight out in front of you in this crouching dragon position for one more breath. And then release that right foot down. And step back, down dog, or come down to child's pose or tabletop. You choose what your body is craving right now. And if you'd like to take a vinyasa, you can go ahead and do that, or stay in down dog or child's pose for a few breaths. If you're taking your vinyasa, come forward to plank on an inhale. Use the exhale to lower, the inhale to invite whatever back bend you choose. And your exhale takes you back to downward facing dog or child's pose. Take one more breath here. And then we're going to step to the top of our mat with both feet. Inhale, halfway lift. And as we exhale, we're going to step our left foot back. So we're going to do that same crouching warrior 3 or crouching dragon on our second side. So keeping the right knee bent, beginning to shift the hands forward, the weight forward, float that left leg up. And maybe you reach through fingers and your left toes into our crouching dragon. Or maybe your hands stay on blocks or the floor.
Oh, it's hot.
I know. And then go ahead and step your left foot back. Let's step back, down dog or child's pose. I'm glad to hear you say that. I just thought I'm old and my hips are just really weak.
My leg is so heavy. I need to come as fast as possible.
It's my crouching leg is the one where my hip is just like, oh my God, my muscles are weak. So take a couple breaths. We're almost at the end of the hard stuff. We're almost there. We're going to have a nice long shavasana and a nice long earth meditation. So if we all meet back in down dog or tabletop, let's take an inhale here and let your exhale take you to the top of your mat with both feet. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen from sit bones to crown. Exhale, bow, bend your knees, press the earth away as you rise up. And notice how that connection to that strong earth energy beneath you allows you to rise up. Hands to heart center. Let's take a few breaths being upright for a little bit in our mountain pose. And we have one more strengthening pose. Inhale, exhale in your mountain pose. And now I'm going to give you a couple of options for this next pose. And Susan, you might take, especially on the one side, you might take the option. One option is, I'll show you where we're going. You don't have to go into it yet. You can just do chair pose with your feet together and move into a twist like this. And we're going to start the other option by stepping your left foot behind your right and staying up on your toes, which is why you might want to not do it on that sore foot side. And then we're going to bend the knees. So it's kind of like a little bit like our, you guys can go ahead and step your left foot back. Kind of like our eagle variation and kind of like chair. And then we're going to take our left hand, left elbow, across to the outside of that front knee. Bring your hands to stack. And like a spiral, feel that earth energy from your feet rising up your legs as you spiral and twist to your right. And remember the prana mudra that I talked about, that top hand is going to come into prana mudra, and as you inhale, reach it up to the sky. I know, right? Take one more breath here. And exhale. Bring it back. Try not to fall over. And step your feet together in a forward fold. Stretch and strength at the same time. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bow, press into the earth, and rise up and draw into your heart. Take a few breaths in mountain pose. I said that was the last hard pose, but we have two sides, so we still have one more. I don't know if you could hear my knee on that side. My knee goes. Hopefully it wasn't too loud there. So now let's take, what's that? You're good? Good, you can't hear mine then. So right foot is going to step behind. Is this your good side, Susan? Yeah. Okay, good. And so that knee kind of comes behind as we bend the knees. And then right elbow comes across the outside of that front knee. So you can bring your hands to heart center here. And then that top hand, which is our left hand, is going to make that prana mudra. And as we inhale, reach to the sky like an arrow reaching up to the space above. And feel that energy from earth rising up through your feet, your legs, spiraling all the way up to sky. Take one more breath. And exhale, hands come back. Release your hands towards floor. Step your feet together. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bow. And we're going to step it back to downward dog. And this will be your last opportunity to take a flow. If you want to flow through plank and your back bend, or stay in child's pose. Everybody's going for it today. And once you find your way to dog, we're going to come down to our knees. So you might just stay on your knees there, Susan. If you have sore knees or don't like to kneel on your knees, you can use a sweater or something for a blanket. You're smart, you got your towel. I forgot mine. Or you can just fold the edge of your mat over as well to give you a little padding, because we're going to do a couple of poses on our knees. What's that?
I just got dog kibble in my pocket.
So this posture just upright is danda. You can have your toes curled under or flat, whatever is better for your body. Mine are going to be curled under. We're going to take Kali Mudra. I forgot there was one more we're going to do. So we're going to inhale, reach up. So Kali Mudra is the fingers intertwined, but index fingers are pointing up. So we reach up to the sky, and then as we exhale, we're going to point our fingers forward, arms parallel to the floor, and we're going to lean back. We're going to do this 3 times. Inhale, come upright, reach up. Exhale, lean back. So this is like igniting our intentions here. Inhale, come up. And exhale, feel that fire within. And then inhale, reach up, release this time. We're going to come into camel variation. We'll come into child's pose and work our way into camel. So let's go ahead and come into child's pose, but we're going to bring the back of our hands to the small of our back as the forehead comes down. On an inhale breath, we rise up on our knees and reach up to the sky, lengthening through the spine. And as we exhale, we come back down. Inhale, rise up again. So getting some flexibility in our spine and length between the space between the vertebrae. And this time as we inhale and come up, we're going to stay up and release the hands to the small of your back or to the sacrum. Fingers can point up, either up or down. And camel pose, we start our posture from the heart center. So begin to lengthen, elbows are pointing behind you, shoulders are back, lift your heart. Keep lifting the heart and invite a little back bend here. And when you feel like you're where you want to be, where it's comfortable, but keep lengthening through the spine and lifting the heart. You might want to experiment. I invite you to release your right hand and begin to reach it up and overhead and lengthen. Lifting up and over, up and over, up and over. And then slowly bring the right arm back, come upright. You can have both hands on your sacrum again. And we'll do, excuse me, second side. So lift through the heart again, lift, lengthen and lift. And when you feel ready, release the left hand to reach up and over. And then exhale, bring it back. Come down into child's pose. Are those knees? Forehead kisses the earth once again. Feel that connection to the earth beneath you. Let your body soften into the support for a couple of breaths. Breathing into your back body. And when you feel ready, you can make your way onto a seat. And we're going to come into Janu Sirsasana, our heart to knee pose. And then we're going to wind down. So if you're starting to feel cool and want a sweater or socks on, you can grab those now. I will turn the heat up again a little bit as we end up on our backs. So start with both legs extended in front of you. Toes pointing up to the sky, and then bending the right leg as though we're coming into tree pose, and bring the sole of the foot to the inside of that thigh, but keep the left toes flexed. So that leg is active. And if you need something under that knee, everybody looks pretty good. Rotating your body towards that straight leg, and then lifting up and over. You can pull the flesh of your buttocks back. And then up and over, hands can be on either side of that foot. And you can have a micro bend in that front knee as well. And don't force this. You can close your eyes and just let the pose take you wherever it wants to take you, wherever your body is allowing today. Without force. And just breathing into any parts of the body that you're feeling any restrictions. It might be your hamstrings or your right hip or your low back. And just make this be something that takes you where you feel sensation, but you're not forcing yourself into a place of pain or discomfort. And then bring your awareness to that earth plane beneath you here once again as your whole body comes a little closer to the earth. One more breath on this side. And then use your inhale breath to slowly begin bringing you back upright. Releasing both legs straight out in front of you. Maybe you want to shake it out. And then let's bring that left ankle in, or left foot in, I should say. Take a moment to orient towards that straight leg. The right toes are flexed. And you might have something under that right knee if you need it, any support under there. Inhale, pull the flesh of the butt back, and then begin to make your way to wherever your body allows on this side, where you're just starting to feel sensation, not discomfort. And notice as you breathe into the pose that it might unfold and bring you closer to the earth with each breath. And think about reaching with your heart rather than with your head so that your neck can stay in the same plane as the rest of your spine. Stay connected to your breath and connected to that solid earth energy beneath you. One more breath. And then slowly make your way up. Extend both legs. And then we're going to lie down on your back. So bending the knees. And go ahead and lower yourself down. Soles of the feet to the mat. Knees are bent. Arms straight out to the side. Just let your knees windshield washer from side to side with your breath. Exhaling, the knees drop. Inhaling, the knees come back to center. And just do a few times to each side. Letting it be soft and gentle. And then when it feels right to you, you're going to let your knees drop to the right and stay there for a couple of breaths. Let your arms be wide, stretched out from your shoulders. Let your head turn opposite your knees if that feels appropriate for you. And then when you feel ready, let your inhale bring your knees up and over to the other side where you'll stay for a few breaths there. And you let your breath begin to soften. Breathe into any places where you might be holding or feeling tension. And then let your next inhale breath bring you back to center. Draw your knees into your chest. Give yourself a hug, rock from side to side. Feel into that earth plane on your back body. And when you feel ready, you can make your way into your final Shavasana. If you have a blanket that you want to use for your Shavasana, you can. Or if you want something under your knees. Take a few moments to get comfortable for your Shavasana. And I've got a little bit of a longer meditation today for our Earth Day meditation, so you can stay lying on your back as we move into that. If you prefer, I'll cue you. If you want to shift to seated, you can also do that, but you're welcome to take either posture. So take a few breaths to let your body settle. Take a deep inhale. And exhale, let your body settle into the earth. Let your feet be wide. Let your body take up space tonight. Let as many parts of your body come into contact with the earth as you're able to. And let your eyes float closed. Feel the feeling of your body touching the ground. That sensation of contact. And notice if there are any tension spots, tension points around your body. And try to breathe into those points and allow it to soften on your exhale. Relax the skin around your eyes. And relax the forehead, the belly, the thighs, the pelvic floor. Allow your heels and the back of your head to become heavy on the earth. Very slowly begin to bring your awareness back into your breath. Feeling the body, the rise and fall of the body with the breath. And then choose to stay exactly where you are, or slowly make your way to a seat, taking a transition in fetal position along the way, if you choose to make that transition. And if you've chosen to take a seat, let your eyes float closed and just take a moment to feel that feeling of your body touching the ground. And whether you're lying down or seated, bring your thumb and index finger tips to touch and turn your palms up to face the sky. And let them rest on your thighs or your knees. And if you're lying down, you can just let the back of your hand rest on the ground. And then immerse yourself in that sensation of letting go. Body letting go of whatever it might be reacting to, and what is going on around it. And visualize each breath as it enters your body. Imagine it filling you up, down into your legs and out through your feet. Imagine your breath is like the roots of a tree digging into the soil. Let your breath find its way through the cool, soft topsoil. And visualize it as it continues down into the earth, past the bones of our ancestors and down deeper into the earth, through the bedrock, through the underground caverns and rivers and lakes, growing and pushing down, down, down. And as your breath takes your roots deeper down into the earth, it spreads wide as well, like the tendrils of the tree roots, seeking the warm heart of the earth. And you are now grounded into the earth through your meditation. Each breath, each exhale grounding you even more. And now we shift our attention, our focus to the earth, and consider that everything that you experience, that you love, that you feel grateful for, is made possible by this incredible planet that sustains you. The air that you breathe, the water that you drink, the food that you eat, the materials that build your home and clothing, all come from this life-giving planet that we call home. And imagine relaxing into the deep feeling of satisfaction and gratitude, and really tuning in to what you receive from the earth today. How does the earth nourish me? And how do I nourish the earth? And take a few breaths to cultivate a reverence for this planet upon which we walk. And take this moment to silently thank the earth for all that you appreciate in your life. And expand your appreciation to all that exists simultaneously and harmoniously on the planet. And now, without breaking that connection to the earth, turn your attention to the skies above, to the moon, the stars, the sun. And in your inner vision, see a night sky filled with the multitude of stars of the Milky Way. See the planets, the sun and the moon. See the beauty and mystery of the whole universe. And now allow a feeling of gratitude and reverence to grow in your heart. And we'll close today with a mantra. Healing the earth begins with my own healing. Love on the planet begins with the love in my own heart. Just allow stillness and quietude for a few more breaths here. And then you can slowly bring your hands together at your heart center. With your eyes cast towards the earth, let your eyes gently flutter open. Bring your awareness back into the space and those around you. Namaste. 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 So thank you everybody for coming out and joining me on this very, very, very snowy April day. Let's hope Earth Day is actually a lot nicer and we can actually go out on the earth.